with my political playlist video. The song that I chose to focus on is "Oh Freedom" by Odetta. It was very popular in the mid 1900s, roughly around 1956, when it was released by Odetta as a part of her spiritual trilogy. Unfortunately, the exact author is not known, but it was estimated to be first created right after the Civil War, in the mid to late 1800s. It became popular in 1956 when it became kind of a big thing in the civil rights movement when when it was still crucial to modern racism. That happened around when Odetta released it. It is a part of a spiritual trilogy. It features two other songs, "Come and Go" and "I'm on My Way." These are both played by Odetta. The first thing that the song focuses on is racial injustice. And it said, one excerpt, the main excerpt from this song that I took is, "And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free." This excerpt was very important, and it really struck the communities. As mentioned earlier, this song was written post-Civil War, but was still very applicable to the modern, when Odetta re-released it around the 1950s. Another thing that the song focused on was freedom of religion. And while it didn't exactly explicitly state it, it does talk about it. The excerpt that I really liked was, as I just mentioned, so I keep on repeating this, but it was, "And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and be home to my Lord free." So Black people were bound and enslaved, often not learning to read and be able to praise their Lord, which is very, very hard for them. So this song definitely struck deep in the African American communities, and it was sung all throughout, especially after the Civil War, because they were able to feel like they were finally free, and they were able to show how they felt about this racial injustice that they had to experience and endure, coming from these white men who were enslaving them and buying them and owning them. American people are deeply spiritual. There's so much religion all throughout America, and but African American people were deprived of that prior to the Civil War. They were able to do a little bit of religion, but sometimes it just was too complicated because they couldn't read and they didn't know exactly what was going on. Like, they were born enslaved and they weren't able to learn about their religion, or their owners just wouldn't let them really focus on that, and they wouldn't let them enjoy that blessing that they could have. But now African American people are have as much a right as anybody else. There's an image that I like. It's President Trump and President Obama shaking hands. You can see Biden right behind them. But it was crazy. Obama became the first African American president, which is really cool, just showing how far the country was able to come from having African American people completely enslaved with no rights to being able to become these huge world leaders, such as the President of the United States of America. Thank you for watching. Bye.